Hey everyone. So today's lesson is going to be lesson 4.2. Hopefully the mic is a little better for this head puzzle. I know my previous one it wasn't ideal, but hopefully this one you are able to hear a little better. So today's I can statement is going to be I can solve systems of equations using substitution. So previously we learned how to solve systems of equations by graphing, right? So we plotted both lines and we figured out where their point of intersection is. Today we're going to talk about a different way to solve these systems of equations, which is substitution. The reason we have multiple ways because sometimes there is going to be one way that is preferred over another. Like I don't think we would always want to graph equations every single time. There's maybe sometimes where graphing can be a little of a nuisance, and I'll explain when those situations are. So here's 3 steps how to solve a system of linear equations using substitution. Step 1 is to solve one of the equations for any variable. So what that means is you can have it make it x equals or y equals. So I would solve for x or y in any equation. It doesn't matter which equation you choose to do, but you need to have an x equals or a y equals in just one of your equations. Step 2 is then to substitute the expression from step 1 into the other equation and solve for the other variable. Okay, so for example, let's say I had like x equals 5 and I had this equation of like 4x plus y is equal to 2. I don't know if this will work, but I just came up with this example. If it's x equal 5, I'm going to plug in 5 for x, right? I'm going to do 5 for parentheses 5 plus y equals 2. So that's all it's saying. So now you solve for y, right? And you get y is equal to negative 18. You're essentially just substituting in the value and solving for the other variable. Last but not least, substitute the value from step 2 into any of the original equations and solve for the other variable. Remember, as I said in 4.1, you always need an x equals and you always need a y equals, okay? So let's do an example together. So for example, it says y equals 2x minus 4. I have 7x minus 2y equals 5. Step 1, I need an x equals or y equals, right? It looks like I'm already given y equals 2x minus 4. So that's step 1. Why? Because this is y equals 2x minus 4. That's already taken care of me. So I can move on to step number 2. So now I'm going to substitute, because this is y equals all of this, I'm going to plug it in instead of y. Okay, so what does that look like? I have 7x minus 2 instead of y. You're going to write 2x minus 4 equals 5. So I took this second equation, and instead of y, I put 2x minus 4 because it says that y is equal to 2x minus 4. So when you do this step number 2, you should always only have one type of variable. So you should never have one x and one y. When I'm using substitution, always should remain with one type of variable. And then from here, you solve for x. All right, so 7x minus 4x plus 8 equals 5. You get 3x plus 8 equals 5. Minus 8 minus 8. You get 3x is equal to negative 3. Divide by 3, get x is equal to negative 1. Okay, so now I found out what x is equal to. And remember, you always need an x comma y. So, right, so if I have x is equal to something, well, this is where step 3 comes in handy. I would choose the easier equation. It doesn't matter which one you choose, you'll get the same answer regardless. It looks like my top equation is the simplest one. So y equals 2x minus 4. So instead of x, I'm going to plug in negative 1 because that's the value I got in step 2. So 2 times negative 1 minus 4. So y is equal to negative 2 minus 4. I get y is equal to negative 6. So my ordered pair is going to be negative 1, comma, negative 6. Okay? So I know this is a lot of work, but hopefully this is a little easier for some of you, especially if you're If you like the algebra, like the math part of it instead of the graphing part of it. So once again, this is a different way you can solve systems of linear equations. Next example, looks like I have the same thing, but I'm given x is equal to 5y plus 3. So I'm going to plug this in for right here. Right, so instead of x, I'm going to write 2 times 5y plus 3 plus 4y is equal to negative 1. Distribute, I get 10y plus 6 plus 4y is equal to negative 1. Combine like terms, 14y plus 6 is equal to negative 1. Minus 6, you get 14y is equal to negative 7. You divide by 14, you get y is equal to negative 7 over 14, just negative 1/2. That's okay. You could have fractions as your answers. But as we said earlier, you always need two answers. You need one x and one y. So now let's plug it in. Let me go up here. I'm going to use the first equation because it seems like the easiest one. So instead of x, instead of y, I'm going to put negative 1/2 plus 3. So this is equal to negative 5 over 2 plus 3, which is negative 5 over 2 plus 3 over 1, negative 5 over 2 plus 6 over 2, you get positive 1/2. So it looks like x is equal to positive 1/2, so my ordered pair is going to be 1/2, comma, negative 1/2. So this is how you solve systems of linear equations using substitution. So now, why don't you try examples 1 and 2? If you're still confused on this, why don't you rewatch this portion of the video so that you have a better understanding of it. Once again, you know, it's all about pattern recognition. Can you see the pattern of what I'm doing? If you're struggling with it, go back and rewind this video, and I would encourage you to watch it and take notes as well. All right, moving on to example number 2. You buy a combined total of 50 turkey burgers and veggie burgers for $90. You pay $2 for turkey burger, $1.50 for veggie burger. Write and solve a system of linear equations to find the number of turkey and veggie burgers you buy. So right off the bat, I notice units. So that means all three of those numbers are going to be in the same equation, right? So step 1, always to define your variable. So let's just say, because I'm solving for turkey burgers and veggie burgers, I'll put x is equal to turkey, y is equal to veggie burgers. Okay, step 2, write a system of linear equations. Right, as I said earlier, it looks like those numbers that have the same units are going to go in the same equation. So it looks like 2x, y, because it's 2 times turkey, I said x is equal to turkey, plus 1.5y is equal to, because it's a total of $90, that's what the equation is going to be. All right, so now I'm left with 50. I buy a combined total of 50 turkey and veggie burgers. If x is equal to turkey, y is equal to veggie. If I do turkey plus veggie, I should get 50, right? So that's where I get my second equation, x plus y is equal to 50. Step number 3, now is solve any equation for one variable. Okay, so it looks like so this is where it's a little different than the other two examples we did. The other two examples, I was given an x equals, I was given a y equals, but you notice how in this equation I'm not, right? So this is where you have to change it a little bit. Take a look at your easier equation. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but I think this bottom one is a little easier, right? So let's solve for any variable. I'll just solve for x, right? So I'm going to have x plus y is equal to 50. I want it x equals, so I subtract y, I get x is equal to 50 minus y. So now step 4 is to substitute the expression from step 3 into the other equation and solve for the other variable. Now my two equations are 2x plus 1.5y is equal to 90, and I have x is equal to 50 minus y. So now I can substitute an expression. So instead of x, right, I could write 50 minus y. So let me do that here. So I have 2 times 50 minus y plus 1.5. Y is equal to 90, and then let me solve for y. I distribute, you get 100 minus 2y plus 1.5. Y is equal to 90. 100 minus 0.5y is equal to 90. I should have included more room here. Let me just copy this up here. I'm going to subtract 100. Subtract 100 is negative 0.5. Y is equal to negative 10. Divide by negative 0.5. Divide by negative 0.5. You get y is going to equal to 20. Okay, so now substitute my final step, the value from step 4 into any of the original equations and solve for the other variable. I would say the bottom one, once again, x plus y is equals 50. That's the easiest one. Or you can use the one you manipulated, right? So the three equations I have, I'll label them here in different color. I have 1, 2, 3. Let's use number 3. 3 seems like the easiest one, so I'm going to choose that one. So if x is equal to 50 minus y, I got y is equal to 20. Plug it in. So x is equal to 50 minus 20. X is equal to 30. Okay, but don't forget units. X is equal to 30 turkey burgers. And y is equal to 20 veggie burgers. And you can always double check your work too. You plug in 20 for y, 30 for turkey. You should get the total of 50 burgers. If you plug it into the other equation, it should cost you a total of $90 as well. Okay? So now why don't you try this last problem on your own? And that'll be it for today's lesson. So once you finish your on your own problem, why don't you fill out your level of understanding? That is it for today's homework. If there is no big ideas math, we're going to do the homework in class tomorrow and go over any questions you had on the notes as well. And that is it for today. Hope you have a wonderful Monday and see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.